Welcome to the A Creative channel, where we like to invest our time in creating cool things. And I have a cool little quick sculpt that I've done with this little guy here from Wall Street Silver. So stick around and watch my methods and see how I did it. See you on the other side. So there's a little backstory. This little character is coming from Wall Street Bets, as you can see there. It's a version of Wall Street Silver, and I'm going to get into why we're doing that and what this is about. But to begin with, I'm going to talk about the processes of how I accomplished this. So overall, I spent about four and a half hours roughly producing this sculpture. And at this point, what you're seeing me do is blocking out the shapes, and that's the most important aspect of all art, is just finding the shapes from your reference or whatever you're trying to create. Everything in nature has a basic shape to it. See those shapes, you put them in there. It's the quickest way to get what you're wanting. So it's always those big forms that we're after first, positioning them and so forth. Then we work in medium-sized shapes and the fine-tuning, and then the finer details. So practically, I have three basic methods that I like to use in Zbrush and other sculpting methods, and it involves whether it's a hard surface or an organic surface. Hard surfaces are like trucks, airplanes, cars, or organic surfaces like people, trees, animals, and so forth. So the organic process, they all follow, or you can do it in similar methods of these three, based on what you're doing it for. So when I know and I have reference to follow, this method that I'm using out here is just a block out method, and I go into higher subdivisions so I can sculpt finer details as I go up. As I reach a point that I need more, I turn it into a Dynamesh and merge the whole thing and pretty much sculpt all the fine details into it. I love this process, and I use it a lot for many different methods. So I did something similar with the Ganesh sculpt that I posted just recently. And then another method I use is the block out messy clay, and that is what I'm doing right now with the glasses. So it's a combination of both processes I follow, where like the American Eagle I'm working on definitely is a lot more of that messy clay. It's all that. It isn't unified, like building it up from the ground up, and it's just, I'm just putting stuff together. And the great thing about that is you can position things on a visual level and see where things and how they fit with your sculpt and what you need to get done. So I can judge the spacing of the reference of the nose, where the mouth is to the nose, and that's all coming from the glasses. So it's practically is at this point a visual reference. I will go later and create proper glasses, and that's what I mean by it's kind of just a messy thing. You spend a little bit of time creating something just for visual purposes, but you're going to get rid of that. So it's just like the American Eagle is, made up of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just placing stuff to see how everything fits in, and repositioning things, not being scared to change positions, postures, and all that kind of stuff. Where this guy is kind of a little bit more straightforward, and I've used this second technique just mainly with his glasses. So now that I have everything kind of positioned correctly, I'm using my move brush, right? So I use mainly 3 brushes in nearly all my sculpts, and then a few others just here and there, but the main ones that I use are Move, Damn Standard, and one I created myself, which is the Rilo clay brush. So the Move is the most used brush. I think any user would agree that you use the Move brush the most. At its basic form, all the way up to the highest level, you're still using Move here and there, so you can see that that's actually the Move brush moving his cheek and his hair exactly where I want it. He's close to where I want it. His arms I'm positioning with the Move brush there, so forth, reshifting the glasses where needed. So there's some cool functions with the Move brush. And then I will cut in with the Damn Standard brush, cutting in some thin lines when his suit, and all the lines break up and it makes his actual suit. I'm using the Damn Standard brush and a combination of that and the Move. And then I also start coming in with the Rilo clay brush. And some people just use the clay brush. The one that I made here it's just a smoother, gradual build up and a cut back, so I can, you know, add clay, smooth it, and just do it gradually. So, as I was discussing before, see, I've gone through now, and I'm creating the glasses that will actually, you know, be 3D printed and be part of the final model, and get rid of, you know, that just that visual aid that I had created before. So they're great techniques to use. You know, don't ever be scared just to make something, and you know you're not going to keep it. You just make it, so it just goes somewhere, and you can just, you know, sculpt from that. And all drawing is in the same manner as well. The cool thing with digital art is you can always erase, you can always delete, you can always go backwards. Unlike, you know, in the real world when you're doing something, you know, there's no, you know, as I say, there's no such thing as you know, mistake. There's only happy accidents, and it's true. You know, as you progress in art, you find you make a whole bunch of little mistakes, but if you kind of blend it in the way you add it, it actually sometimes works out to be better. It's even better than you kind of imagined or what you wanted. So you go down that path without any fear. And digital art is something you definitely don't need to be fearful of. So I'm practically now going in and fine-tuning this guy. You know, I've dynameshed him now. I've gone out of, you know, raising subdivision. He's at a pretty high 4 million quads or whatever it is, and he's being dynameshed. So I can get in there and now start to fine-tune all those little details. Not that there's much details on this guy. So I'm working on 2 sculpts at this moment. Him, 2 new sculpts, got some old stuff that I'm going to be bringing back on. But him and the American Eagle, which the American Eagle is a lot longer sculpt, has a lot more details, and I'm going to do a breakdown of that as well. It's going to be a fun showcase actually. So those 2 projects, this one I've wrapped up, and I'm going to go after I've done this one and upload it. I'm going to create another video on where I take this guy, get him ready for 3D printing, my processes of getting him ready, and then I'm going to, you know, 3D print him using a wax resin, so we can cast him and you know, multicast them practically. So I'm hoping to produce many different sizes and get them poured into silver. So yeah, I mean, we're coming pretty much near the end of this now, and you can see I'm really starting to just fine tune. I've brought in some other brushes now, which is like the pinch and polish brush. I started to polish things, and I brought in some other specialized brushes that allow me to add some kind of clothing and little bits and pieces, and yeah, and that's all a wrap on that one. So here he is here. I've added some lettering. So the lettering is pretty cool. It's in another program. I'm sure you might be able to do it in ZBrush, but mine is just so easy. Just go in there on the Create tab. There's a bit that says Type. You go into the Type section, you type in anything, and it comes out in 3D form. And from there, you can you got to do some tricks. Otherwise, it will not 3D print. So you got to quadrulate it, triangulate it, quadrulate it, and then ZBrush will accept it as a mesh that isn't destroyed. And then you can pretty much get your wording out in 3D form. So here it is in silver. So Wall Street Silver is teaching people that real money cannot be printed, and that's what's on the bottom of this. As you can see, freedom, and the words on it says real money cannot be printed. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.